Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is my birthday and going with tradition, today we have a birthday makeup video. So the look that I'm doing today is the look that I'll probably be wearing today. I'm filming this on Sunday, so the day before you're watching this. But Saturday I had a few friends around and I did this makeup look that I'm about to do for that as well. And like I said, I'll probably be wearing that again today because I'm the kind of lazy person that just keeps all their makeup in a kind of bag and just wears the same makeup over and over for a good week or so. You're still going to see a lot of old favourites in this tutorial, just a heads up. So I'm starting with the Clarins Instant Smooth Self Tanning face primer. I put this on actually yesterday morning, so by the time it came to do my makeup in the evening, my skin was looking really nice and tanned already. I wish I had one of the Polaroids to show you. I looked super brown even with the flash on the Polaroids and I was super happy with that. So this is a great one. If you put it on in the morning, you know you're going out later in the evening. There's going to be flash photography. Your face underneath still going to be looking nice and tanned. Okay, anyway, moving on. Next, I'm using the YSL All Hours foundation. I love this foundation and any excuse to use it, really. Quite a big pump of that because I wanted it to last really well and be quite full coverage. Not that my skin needs a ton of full coverage at the moment, but it was my birthday and that was what I wanted to do. It is such good coverage but glowy at the same time. I've never found another foundation quite like this. Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk is kind of similar, but this has more glow and more coverage, which is why it's my favourite. So I tend to just concentrate this around, mainly around the centre of my face, but not my nose. So as you can see, I go around my cheeks a lot where the skin's very uneven because I have a lot of scarring from blemishes, and I'll just kind of mainly concentrate this on my cheeks, my chin where things can just look a bit, my chin just looks a funny colour sometimes. And then I also concentrate this through the centre of my forehead as well, where I have a lot of scarring. I don't know why I've managed to cut my forehead off today. And then once I'm done, I just pat a little bit over my nose and around the bottom of my nose. But I don't like to go too heavy. I always think leaving my nose looking less covered makes everything look a lot more natural. So yeah, that is my, oh gosh, I just dropped my palette and I've just got gold all over my finger. That's good. It's going well. Okay, and then as usual, I went in with my YSL Touche Éclat neutralizer. And I have to say, my dark circles were looking dark yesterday and I had to do a lot of, I'll do the same thing that I did yesterday in this tutorial, but I had to do a lot of brightening around this area here that I'm currently patting on. Brighten that back up because things were looking dark. I think especially when I use brown eyeshadows, it really, really highlights my dark under eye circles no matter how much concealer I use. So if you have the same issue, today I'm going to be showing you what I do to counteract that and hopefully it will help you. And then I just put a tiny amount of YSL All Hours foundation just here, under my nose, here, here, there on that scar, and then up here on my scarring. Just for that extra additional bit of coverage. And the reason I use such a small amount of this under my eyes is number one, because you don't need much at all anyway, but also if you use too much, it can cause your under eye to crease and you get that weird bag and it makes you look more tired than you were in the first place, which is awful. So I tend to only use a tiny amount. Then after I've done my concealer as well, I just pat that in. Using a beauty blender today, so there's not as much need for it, but I do always kind of pat stuff in with my fingers just to help it to set a bit more, sink in, look more natural. What's the word? There's a word that I'm thinking of and I can't think of it. Anyway, that is concealer done. Now I'm just going to go in with the Glossier HALOSCOPE. This is the shade Moonstone and I love this so much. Oh, I forgot to blend the concealer on my forehead. Thanks for telling me, guys. So just bopping this on my forehead. Why do I bop everything? Everything to do with makeup at the moment is like bop this and that. And just blending that in. If you can hear footsteps, it's because Josh is in the room. Hey Josh. Hey. So yeah, that is my highlighter. Look at that glow.
Let it
glow, let it glow. Okay, so next I'm going to align my waterline with this Suzie pencil. It's a soft kohl pencil in the shade AB5. Interesting shade name. This is probably one of my favourite nude liners that I have found recently. It doesn't really make too much of a massive difference now, but once I have all of my eye makeup on, I need that little bit of like... Okay, brows. I'm going to be using my favourite Fleur de Force Eyeliner brow pencil in the shade Dark. I mainly use medium, apart from I use the really dark bit underneath my eyebrow. Probably won't talk too much whilst I do this because I feel like brows always require a lot of concentration. One thing I do a lot is run my fingers over the brows I've just penciled in, and that is because I find it takes away any harshness, but it leaves you still with a lot of product, and it just kind of softens everything, and a lot of the product still clings to like little fine hairs, so you get a much more natural look. For brow gel, I'm going to be using Glossier's Boy Brow. I'm really liking this because although it's the shade Dark, it's quite a lot lighter than other brow gels that I'd normally use, and seeing as I've just had my hair reblonded again, it kind of lightens my brows ever so slightly. Like the colour of it is slightly lighter than my brows are naturally, so it just seems to make them look a lot lighter and softer, which I think is quite important now that I've got like more blonde in my hair. They're huge, but we are rolling with this because it will all balance out in the end. I've just got brow gel everywhere, oh god. Okay, now we're moving on to eyes, which is my favourite part of this look. It's actually a little bit Alana Davison inspired. Hi Alana, if you are watching. I basically religiously watch every single one of her videos and I'm a massive fangirl. But I've watched her videos recently and seen her do like a brown eye look and then put like a gold over the top to kind of brighten it. And I always find that with browns, they do look too dark and too muddy on me, especially because I've got brown eyes as well. And I was like, how have I never thought of this before? Like that would brighten the whole thing up and just lift it a little bit. And I wanted to try it out because I felt like that would be the perfect way for me to get into using like darker browns on my eyes again. So I took the By Terry Ombre Black Star in, what shade are you? Bronze Moon. I used to be a big fan of this like 2 years ago maybe. And anyway, I just popped that all over my eyelid, and then I mainly just blended out the edges more than anything else, just using my finger. And then today, because apparently I have butterfingers, I'm just going to use this brush from Real Techniques a little bit that I use for my concealer just to blend the edges out, because I don't think I've got very good hand-eye coordination today. Yeah, same on the other side, just adding a second layer and blending that in with my finger. And now that that's done, I'm taking this Burberry eyeshadow. I don't know if this still is available, I'm sure they'll do one like it, but I think they bring these out a lot at Christmas, but this is their Festive Gold eyeshadow cream colour thingy. It's number 120. If you can get your hands on this, I'd highly recommend it because it is beautiful. I think this would work really nicely alone, but it also works really beautifully over the top of this eyeshadow. Blend over the top of that using my finger. I'm gonna go in for 2 rounds. I'm gonna bring you closer, I think. Okay, hello. This is really, really close up. So I'm just taking a little bit more of that onto the back of my hands. I feel like I didn't go in heavy enough the first time. And I'm just patting that over my eyelid, and then I'm just going to blend some of that underneath my eye as well. So now I'm going to be doing that thing I was talking about earlier where I try and sort out my dark circles. So I'm taking this Burberry, what is this? It's like a cream eyeshadow pencil in the shade Natural 100, and I pop this in my tear duct and just up into the inner corner of my eye like this. And then I just take this brush again. This brush has been through the wars the past 24 hours, but yeah, I just blend that out. And then I took my NARS Reloaded palette and I used this first very lightest shade here and I popped that over the top, and I definitely went overboard with it, but I think it worked out for the best. So as you can see, that's really, it's popping. So this at night when you have like artificial lighting on, this looks so like, it really catches the light and looks quite extreme. So then what I did was I took this shade here. No, it wasn't that one there. Wrong shade, see, it's wrong shade. This shade here. And I just dabbed that over the top a little bit because I didn't want it to look super extreme and like goey outy, but I really just wanted to brighten up my inner corners, and that worked perfectly. And to complete the eyeshadow look, I took this shade here, I want to say, or, no, it was a mixture of the two. So I did 2 bops in that one and 1 bop in that one, all the bopping, and ran this underneath my lower lash line. Oh, and I actually took this shade here, this warm shade as well. I find that quite often because I have such a warm skin tone, it's really, really important to just put a little bit of warmth into an eye look. But yeah, I'm going to do it on the other side again. So 2 bops here, 1 bop there, and blend. And I do bring it out a little bit here, just a tiny bit. Looks quite extreme the way I've done it now, but it will blend out don't worry. And then just taking that warm shade underneath my eye again. It's such a pretty shade. I'm going to get so much wear out of this palette over the autumn, I can just tell already. And then I'm taking that purple brush from Real Techniques again and blending under my eye. And every time I blend, I then tap this on my wrist just to take off some of the shadow I've been blending. Yeah, that is the eyeshadow done. And now we are going to move on to eyeliner. I'm using a new eyeliner at the moment. Very rarely happens. Very rarely find one I like. This is Tanya Burr's new Selfie Flick mascara, and I was so excited to try this because Tanya and I are very on par with what we like from makeup. I end up loving a lot of her stuff because our makeup preferences are so similar, and she makes products that she would wear and she loves, and if she loves them, I'm gonna love them. But this one has been made so it's so easy to use. Honestly, doing a flick with this, I've never known a brush to be so good at doing a flick. So quick and easy. I am really happy with that. So that is liner done. Now I'm going to go in with mascara, and I already had a bit on yesterday when I was doing my makeup. I put the Tanya Burr Selfie Lash on in the morning just for like a really light, I basically wanted it just to look like I had like really fluttery eyelash extension, so I just did one really simple coat. Looked so good. So I already had a bit on when I was doing my makeup, but then I went in with my NARS Audacious mascara, which I'd forgotten. Like, I knew that I loved this and I repurchased it because I was like, oh, I used to love that mascara. I'd forgotten exactly why I loved it. I forgot about this little nib on the end. I don't know if this is going to focus. It has this little nib on the end, I don't know if you can see, little spikes that hold the mascara, and it basically allows you to do this. So you can use the end of the wand to coat the really fine lashes that mascara can't always get. And it makes it amazing for bottom lashes, but really good for these lashes here. And it just makes my eyelashes and my whole eye look so much better because I'm getting all the lashes. And then yesterday to do my bottom lashes, I used the end of this, but today, because I'm just like butter fingers, I'm just going to use the Selfie Lash on my bottom lashes. This is amazing for bottom lashes. Okay, and that is the look pretty much done. I did then remember that I needed to put some bronzer on. I was like, something's not right. What is it? I can't work it out. Of course it's bronzer. So I started by just taking some over my nose. This just completely, I think, changes my face. I'm just using my tapered Eco Tools brush to blend that over my schnoz, and then just across my cheekbones. I like to do a sun-kissed kind of look all the time, but especially when I'm doing like a dark-ish eye look, I think it's so important to, like, I don't know, make the rest of the face look quite fresh, but also quite warm. So bronzer done. Now I'm going to do my lips. And last night I used lip liner and I actually really regretted it, which I never thought I'd say. I never thought I'd regret putting lip liner on. So I just am going to go in really lightly. The lipstick I used was this one, I think it's called Nude Spice by Victoria Beckham for Estee Lauder. I love it. Everyone's been asking what lipstick I've been wearing recently. It is this. So that is it for my birthday makeup this year. Definitely not as heavy as last year's, but if you're looking for something a little bit more extreme and your birthday is coming up, I'll link my previous birthday makeup tutorial in the info box below. Actually, I'll link them all, but last year's was definitely, like, I think the most bold I've ever done in terms of like how much eye makeup I had on. Neutral in colours, but there was glitter, it was great. Just go and have a watch. But yeah, that is it for my birthday makeup this year. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Hopefully it gave you some ideas. But that is it for me today. I hope you're all having the best day, and I will see you guys again in my next video. Bye.